Hello, welcome back to another episode of SLAB Talk. Um, Occasionally, I have friends that would ask me, why don't you submit to PGX or why don't you collect PGX? Because it's cheaper, it's faster. Um, there's all kind of reason why people wonder why I don't use PGX, and um, my biggest reason, there's two big reasons. One is the inconsistency in grading, and I would say that you know I don't know the ins and out of PGX to know what kind of business model they run and how many graders they have. Um, I can only go with what I heard. From what I know, they have one grader for a long time. Okay, that may have changed. I do not know what's going on as far as 2016 is concerned, but if you go back to 2008, 2009, when I returned to the hobby and started buying slab, that was what I heard and was discussed among the circles of slab collectors. And regardless of how good you are of a grader, um, if you are the sole grader, there is always a chance of missing something or undergrading and overgrading something. That's why there is a system of three graders at both CGC and CBCS. I know for me, I would grade something and then a year later, 6 months later, pull the same book out, and occasionally my view on that book changed as far as what I thought the grade was. So even from myself, things do fluctuate here and there. Not all the time, but there are books in my collection that I thought one time it was a 9.4, and then upon further review, 6 months later, I felt it's more like a 9.2. It happens on both going lower as well as sometimes going higher than what I thought. So that's human nature. That's the human eye and perception. Okay, so that's the problem with PGX as far as I am concerned, is that when you only have one grader, like I said in the past, things tend to be inconsistent compared to CGC or CBCS. Now, because of that inconsistency in grading over time, there's less trust in the market. Okay, you can attach whatever reason you want on why people are not willing to pay the same value for PGX 8.0 compared to a CGC 8.0. And all that had to do with, a lot of it had to do with trust. Okay, because the market is saying that 8.0 in PGX slab may not be an 8.0, therefore it's gonna only willing to pay up to a 7.5 equivalent for a CGC. Okay, that's my way of interpreting why the market is not willing to pay the same value. Okay, whether that's perception or truth, is going slab by slab. You have to go by case, and in many ways that's where I think the dilemma of many collectors falls in, as far as people that want to use PGX because it's cheaper and faster. I have heard this so many times. Oh, I use PGX on this because it's for my collection. I'm not gonna sell it, I'm just gonna submit it. It's quicker, it's faster, it's cheaper, and I just want it protected. That's fine if that's your reason to use PGX, but how many people that said that end up selling the slab later and then get a lot less money than they could have if that book was in a CGC slab? How many people are willing to admit that? A lot of people. Okay, a lot of people suffer that same mistake, from what I can tell. Over the years, I have heard the same argument and debate from a lot of people. Oh, I'm just gonna use it because I'm not gonna sell this, so it doesn't matter. Guess what? When you do sell it and you get 20% below the same below value as far as another CGC equivalent grade, then well, hopefully you don't kick yourself too hard or blame yourself too hard for making the mistake. But that's the reality, and that's the reality of why I don't use PGX as far as submitting it. Why risk? Why put yourself at that kind of risk as far as getting less money? The whole purpose of slabbing something, for me, okay, I'm not saying for what other people can slab it for protection or whatever reason. For me, the whole idea of slabbing something is to maximize value. Yes, I'm not afraid or ashamed to say that I want to maximize the total money I'm getting from my book. I have been in this hobby long enough. I have give away a lot of stuff. I have sell a lot of stuff at deep discount. But there are times when I want to maximize value. Does that make me a bad person? Or so be it, okay? But that's how I operate my life. So when it comes down to maximize value, why would I want to put my money into a PGX slab and get 10 or 20% less than what I want? Why? Can anyone tell me a good reason? Faster delivery? Faster? Tell you what, I would rather pay 60 to get CGC slap my book in one of the faster tier where you get the book back like in 2 weeks, than pay 20 to get a PGX, because the differences is going to be the resale value of the same book is going to be a lot more than $40 differences in the cost of CGC and PGX. Okay, when it comes down to evaluating the benefit, I think a lot of time people think of like, oh, I'm saving. I'm sure many have heard of the old saying, penny wise, dollar foolish. That's a perfect example. You're trying to save $40, but then you will cost yourself $200 in resale later. Okay, to me it makes no sense whatsoever as far as a business decision, regardless of what kind of belief I have about PGX or trust I have with PGX. Ultimately, it's about dollar and cents. And that is my answer each time anyone asks me, why don't I use PGX? Now, does that mean that I don't buy PGX? Heck no. If I have a chance to look at a PGX slab closely and see that there's a good chance that this book is graded fairly and I can get this book 20% below market value, heck yes, I would buy that book in a heartbeat. Not even a debate there. So hopefully in future episodes I will show some PGX slabs that I have in my collection and crack them out and see how close they are to the grades that's on the label, and see what kind of deals I end up getting, because I bought those slabs way below fair market value if you compare it to a CGC slab. Okay, hopefully in future episode I have 3 or 4 PGX slab in my collection, and one of these days I will take one out, show you the slab, and then crack it out. Until that time, see you later. Bye bye.